What's good, world? Today I wanted to talk about dads. I recorded this video, I want to say last night, but it's been kind of weird. I stayed up all night, 2 days in a row, because I had nothing better to do and couldn't sleep. But yeah. Today I wanted to talk about dads again, but kind of for the first time, because I watched back to my original take on this once, and I don't know, I just needed maybe an extra day to sleep on it or whatever. Anyway, oh well. In my opinion, my dad is the scariest, most powerful motherfucker on the planet. Not to mention the smartest and most charismatic motherfucker on the planet. I love my father, and I look up to him immensely. He's kind of the greatest. And y'all probably know the feeling of like your dad telling a story from back in his day when he was that guy, and like, my dad was that guy and still kind of fucking is. Either way, he was strict. He was a perfectionist. He wanted the best out of us. And obviously he tried his best. Like, if you go to your parents and you tell them, like, here's why I feel the way I feel, in my experience, it's usually their response is A, you're wrong to feel that way, and B, are you saying I didn't try my best? I'm like, no, that's not what we as the next generation are saying in the slightest. Like, what I'm trying to say is, yeah, you did your best. You gave me a childhood greater than most people get. And yeah, I was a shithead, but some of those behaviors, some of those tendencies, some of those leanings weren't created by me. They were a product of my environment. And becoming an adult and coming to terms with that and not holding their mistakes against them is something I'm getting used to. Because, like, on one hand, your child's mistakes feel more forgivable because they were made by a dumbass kid who doesn't know any better. Meanwhile, the parents are supposed to know everything, and they're not efficiently or satisfactorily expressing why they do what they do, why they drive you as hard as they do, why they make the mistakes they make. And I mean, my dad tried to a long time ago. He beat the shit out of me for losing the book, but I lost the book. Granted, I had read far enough into it. An old book from immediately post-slavery called Black Boy. The opening sentiment of that book is a parent speaking to a cop about their child. Or no, a parent speaking about their child in relation to, the perception of law enforcement. And that was, I'm going to beat him so that that guy with the cane and the gun on his hip doesn't have to. And the part they don't lean into or explain more is the part that you begin to think about, which is that cop isn't going to be hitting with the love of a parent. but the parent's going to be hitting with the love of a parent. And that's a whole other fucked up conundrum that I think of. Like, what easier way is there to fuck up your kid's head than to beat them disciplinarily and formally, and then be intimate, hug, act as if you didn't just perpetrate an act of, by our modern standards, violence. I don't think my dad is ever going to really understand how I feel. I don't think many of our dads are going to. I think that part of the nature of being a dad is being stubborn. But I stand to be corrected. Like, my dad is still the scariest person on the planet to me, but I look at my sister, and I've had a conversation with her. I have 2 older brothers and a sister. Sister's younger, a good bit. But I talked to her, and I'm like, yeah, you might not have had it as hard as we did, because we had physical, whatever, discipline, but she put me in my fucking place. She was just like, yeah, it's just as hard. He is adapted. It doesn't need to be physical. He can do it verbally. And I've been there. I've understood it. I've had my dad walk out into the fucking living room when I get home late from work one night while I was still living with them before I moved here. Walks out in his underwear while I'm washing the dishes. Cause like, I would come home, do the dishes first, decide whether I wanted to eat, go play some video games, go to bed. That was my routine when I got home. But I come in, he walks into the living room from their master bedroom, and he's just like, Josh, you're too stupid for your own good. Fucking shambles back into his room. I got a dozen examples like that of just instances that I can't define as much other than evil. Yet, my dad is the most God-centered, righteous, knowledgeable person I know. And I'm a Christian. I got baptized back in 2020. January 29th or 27th, whichever one was a Friday. But yeah. Why is it that you can distance yourself from someone physically, yet emotionally, they can still make you cry yourself to sleep over your perceived perception of how they see you? I don't want to be this focused on my father, but I am. And as a weird, kind of fucked up byproduct, I hate myself. But we're dealing with it. Every day. And I hope, and maybe I'll start to pray soon, that eventually something, however minute it might be, will change. That gives him the perspective he needs to, I don't know, say something. I don't know what I want. And that's another weird part, is like, I don't view myself post age 14 as having been a good kid. I don't view myself post age 10 as having been a good kid. I had plenty of bad influences and I leaned into them, whether it was my older brothers, whether it was friends at school, whoever. And I frustrated the fuck out of my parents. A couple of months ago, I had my dad tell me outright, like, your brothers did what they did, and then you were coming up, we moved out to Germany, and you were perfect. And then you fucked it all up. He didn't say exactly that, but he more or less meant that. And on one hand, I'm like, yeah, sure, I made horrible choices. On the other hand, I'm like, what shaped me into that? What shaped me into what pushed my mental state into the position where it felt comfortable in making such decisions? I don't know. Dads are hard, but we love them because they're our heroes. And if you don't have a dad, get one. I'm just kidding. There's good and bad to not having a dad, just like there's good and bad to having one. Anyway, thanks for listening to me ramble. I am going to go do something else now.